Frank with RE/MAX Integrity, and I know that I get asked every single day what's happening with the real estate market in relation to higher inflation, higher interest rates, and what's anticipated to happen over the next couple of years. I recently watched a summit conducted by the National Association of Realtors. Lawrence Yun is their chief economist, and he brought up so many good points, so I made a bunch of notes here that I want to share with everyone to put your minds at ease on what's expected to happen. He talked about at the beginning of the year that the average listing had 5 offers on each property. Right now, as of June, we're seeing 1 to 3 offers per property, so it has leveled off a little bit, which is great news for buyers because they can finally get the home they want with less competition. And he also talked about the average days on the market as of June is still only 14 days, so it's definitely not cooling off. And he also discussed that 88% of all listings are selling year to date in 2022 compared to 10 years ago where only 25% of listings were selling. So that's all great news for us. He touched on the interest rates and the impact that's having on buyers' ability to purchase higher priced homes. And that's definitely having an impact and slowing things for some people's budget. But there's so many strategies that can be incorporated to help buyers get the home they want and still pay a reasonable fee. They can personally buy down the interest rate and get it to an economic level where it's much more affordable and it's just a one-time fee at closing. Or you can even ask the seller to pay for that buy down, which most of them are more willing to do these days with the market leveling off a little bit. And you can also talk to your lender about potentially using adjustable rate mortgages, which were very popular many, many years ago when interest rates were in the 18 and 15% ratios. So we're nowhere near that at 5.5% interest currently. And if interest rates go down, just refinance the home in a few years and you're sitting pretty and still getting the home you want. So there's a lot of options out there, including grant programs that are national or local, and if you qualify for a grant program, they even make the down payment for you. So that's another avenue. He did touch on the GDP has been negative the last 2 quarters, which does technically indicate a recession. However, he also talked about labor shortages versus the job availability. And right now it is a 2-to-1 ratio of jobs out there versus labor. So that's a complete opposite of what we see in most recessions. And he also talked about, he compared things pre-COVID in 2019 or 2020 to June of 2022. And currently the jobs market, especially in Texas, is up 4.1% versus pre-COVID job openings in Texas. And he talked about in places like New York, they're actually seeing a downturn in job availability. So they're down 2.9% versus pre-COVID. But Texas is very, very strong. So it does come down to a geographic desirability. The other thing that he talked about was the population and the supply and demand of real estate. Currently, we have all of the millennials who have moved out of their parents' homes for the past couple of years, and there's 60 million of them. Plus, there's 70 million Gen Zs, and they're just now turning 18 and 19 years old. So over the next 5 to 7 years, they're expected to be coming out of school, purchasing homes, and or renting properties. And so you've got 130 million buyers hitting the market between now and the next 5 to 7 years. But construction is only pacing at about 1.6 million new homes per year. So we're still going to run into the supply and demand issues nationally, which is going to create more of a housing crunch. So you've still got that issue to deal with, which again should strengthen the real estate market. Finally, one of his predictions were that in 2022, home prices are going to go up about 11%. And in 2023, they're expected to rise again, only at a 2% rate. So it's leveling off in the market, and home sales are down from last year, but it's still a great time to buy. And now you finally don't have to pay over list price, hopefully, and you can negotiate a better deal. So if you're curious or would like to receive a copy of the report, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to share it with you. Thanks so much.